Call it a night. Your quiet corner of calm where you can find a moment of peace and relaxation.
Welcome back to Call It a Night, a place where stories come alive and sleep becomes a gentle embrace. Tonight we will guide you to the journey into the realm of dreams. If you're new here, or if you've been enjoying our content, don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an evening of relaxation and discovery. As we prepare to delve into tonight's intriguing exploration, I invite you to take a moment for yourself. Adjust your volume to a comfortable level and find a position that feels just right. Whether that's lying down, sitting back, or cuddling up with a warm blanket. Tonight's video explores the fascinating world of dreams, a phenomenon that has mesmerized humanity throughout history. We'll uncover how modern science has begun to decode the mysteries of dreaming, offering new insights into what happens when we close our eyes. Discover the answers to intriguing questions like, does everyone dream? Can dreams predict the future? Do animals dream? And much more. This video will debunk common myths and offer a comprehensive look at how our understanding of dreams has evolved over the past 50 years. Now, let the dreaming world. Now, as you remain in this tranquil space, we'll begin our journey into the mysteries of dreams. Sweet dreams and enjoy the journey. Dreaming has always captivated people from the beginning of recorded history. Dreaming has influenced religious movements, artistic depictions, and other forms of expression because it is so vivid, complicated, and emotional. Scientific hypotheses that are reflective. The belief that dreams contain messages that cannot be conveyed through other means has served as the foundation for all of these pre-modern manifestations. Therefore, the early Judeo-Christians believed that God revealed his plans to his human servants through specific prophets. With its tenets of the gates of horn and ivory, this idea served as the focal point of medieval dream theory. The ability to communicate with God's angels through dreams allowed religious reformers like Emanuel Swedenborg to obtain instructions for starting the Church of the New Jerusalem. Dreams were a means by which early Western artists, like Giotto, represented prophetic inspiration in their paintings. Saints who are asleep and churchmen and the visions their dreams inspired are depicted in the same picture frame. The surrealists of modern art conveyed their belief that dreaming was a more genuine state of consciousness than waking through their bizarre paintings. Dream language was used in the paintings of Salvador Dali, Max Ernst, and René Magritte. Of these three painters, Dali was the most fantastical, Ernst the most psychoanalytic, and Magritte the most neuropsychological. The most well-known dream researcher around the turn of the 20th century was Sigmund Freud, who tried to ground his theory of the mind in brain research. His knowledge of the brain was so incomplete that he was forced to abandon his famous project for scientific psychology, and he turned to dreaming for insights about what he construed to be the dynamic unconscious. He decided, as had all his symbolist predecessors, that dreams concealed hidden meanings, elaborated as one part of the mind, and that the unconscious tried to break through the protective barrier of consciousness. Freud thus threw dream theory back to the time of biblical scholars, Artemidorus, and other early interpreters of dreams. This lecture's primary objective is to demonstrate how a scientific theory of the past 50 years have seen the development and strengthening of dreaming. The book provides the reader with a special chance to reevaluate their own idea of dreams and, concurrently, obtain knowledge about the intriguing advancements in contemporary sleep science. What sets off dreams? What makes dreams so peculiar? Why are they so difficult to recall? A trustworthy definition that can result in the accurate identification of this condition and techniques for measuring its properties are necessary for a true science of dreaming. The most scientifically useful way to define and measure dreaming is to focus on its formal features rather than its content. By formal features, we mean the perceptual, how we perceive, cognitive, how we think, and emotional, how we feel, aspects of dreaming, regardless of the specifics of the individual stories and scenarios. This realization came about during brain research that raised the possibility that brain activation during sleep is what causes dreaming. To understand the causes and characteristics of dreams, it's helpful to take a formal analytical approach. In most dreams, people are so involved in the scenario that they don't realize they're dreaming. The sense of psychological reality, whether in dreaming or as a psychotic symptom, is influenced by the strength of perceptions, feelings, and thoughts. Perceptions and emotions generated internally are key features of dreams. To explain why these emotions and perceptions feel more intense in dreams compared to waking life, scientists have found that parts of the brain that generate emotions are more active during sleep. Dreams are not only vivid and emotionally strong, but also cognitively strange. Despite recurring themes, there is a disregard for the usual constancies of time, place, and person. The main cognitive features of dreaming include loss of self-awareness, loss of stable orientation, loss of directed thought, reduction in logical reasoning, and poor memory during and after the dream. The strange connections and transitions in dreams are loosely associated. The extreme associations in dreams, hyperassociative processing, can be explained. Freud and his followers thought that dream bizarreness was a psychological defense against unacceptable unconscious wishes, but this idea is no longer widely accepted. Instead, scientists have found that during REM sleep, the brain areas related to emotion are active, while those related to memory, directed thought, self-awareness, and logical reasoning are less active. Some might prefer to think that dreams carry secret, personal messages, but realizing that brain research alone wasn't needed to understand the formal structure of dreams can be surprising. Common sense suggests that the form and content of dreams are complementary, much like grammar and syntax in language, meter and verse in poetry, or genre and subject matter in visual arts. Therefore, the form of dreams significantly influences their content. Some researchers have acknowledged this distinction, but their views have often been overshadowed by those who interpret dreams as having deep, hidden meanings known only to a few chosen interpreters. Does everyone dream? All human beings studied in sleep labs show brain activation during sleep. These periods of brain activation are associated with rapid eye movements, REM, in the sleeper. REM sleep, characterized by these rapid eye movements, is strongly linked to dreaming. When people are awakened during REM sleep, 95% report that they were dreaming. Based on this evidence, it is generally assumed that everyone dreams during sleep. Any impression to the contrary is likely due to the difficulty in recalling dreams. If dreaming is not interrupted by awakening, it is rare to remember the dreams. Poor or no dream recall by many people is due to the brain's memory systems being turned off during REM sleep. The chemical systems responsible for recent memory are inactive during this phase, making it difficult to recall dreams unless an awakening restores these chemicals' availability to the brain. How were dream data collected? The dream data discussed here were collected from various sources to provide a comprehensive understanding. Initially, personal dream reports were recorded over 25 years, resulting in 116 journal volumes with over 300 dream reports. These personal records are easy and inexpensive to obtain and are authentic, although they have limitations, such as potential bias and the need for broader validation. To ensure that findings are universally valid, Dream reports from different sources and individuals under various conditions were also used. This included other dream journals, sleep lab reports, and home-based reports. Other dream journals. A notable example is the Dream Journal of the Engine Man, recorded in 1939. This journal is valued for its detailed and unbiased descriptions, some even illustrated with expressive drawings. To balance gender representation, dream reports from female colleagues and students were also included, all showing consistent formal differences from waking consciousness. Sleep lab reports. Sleep lab studies, conducted with the help of colleagues from various universities, provided over 1,000 dream reports. Participants were awakened during sleep to report their dreams. While these lab awakenings can influence the content by introducing thoughts related to the lab setting, they do not affect the fundamental characteristics of dreams, such as hallucinations and bizarreness. Lab reports often show increased recall and more natural dream descriptions. However, these studies are expensive and typically involve younger participants, often university students, resulting in fewer reports per participant compared to personal journals. Home-based reports with physiological controls. To combine the advantages of both personal journals and lab studies, the Nightcap, a home-based sleep monitor, was developed. It allows researchers to know the participant's sleep state before their reports, compare spontaneous and experimental awakenings, and collect abundant data in natural settings. This approach enabled the collection of a large number of reports from different sleep stages, sleep onset, NREM, and REM, and comparable reports from waking states using a home pager. This dual data collection from the same participants provides valuable insights into the differences between waking and dreaming consciousness. Summary: the scientific study of dreams and consciousness has only recently gained serious attention. Artists and poets have long celebrated the differences between waking and dreaming states, but scientists initially avoided this area due to the lack of objective measures and the subjective nature of experiences. However, direct approaches to studying human consciousness, taking subjective experiences as data, are now supported by advanced laboratory and field methods. By focusing on the formal aspects of mental states, significant differences between waking and dreaming can be captured, allowing for a more precise understanding of consciousness. Can dreams foretell the future? Throughout history, the mysterious nature of dreams has led people to believe they are messages from another world, potentially foretelling the future. Dreams have been seen as prophetic communications that, if correctly interpreted, could predict upcoming events. However, there is no scientific evidence to support this idea and considerable evidence against it. It is true that people worried about a traumatic event, like the potential loss of a sick loved one, might dream about that person more frequently. Experiments on lucid dreaming show that it's possible to influence dream content by thinking about a subject before sleep. Therefore, dreaming about a loved one during a time of crisis is not surprising. If the dreamer later learns that the person has died, they might think the dream was a premonition. But this is a mistake. It's simply a coincidence between a legitimate concern and the actual occurrence of the feared event. To scientifically prove that dreams can predict the future, prospective studies would be needed. In these studies, many people would be asked to record their dreams, and independent judges, unaware of the dream details, would match these dreams with real-life events. The challenge is that people who believe in premonitory dreams often remember a few hits, but ignore the many dreams that did not come true. For a scientific study of dream prophecy, it's essential to establish how often coincidental matches between dreams and waking reality occur. Until such evidence exists, it's more reasonable to believe that the assumption that dreams can foretell the future is false. Why dreams seem so mysterious? Throughout history, dreams have been interpreted in many ways. Ancient Greeks thought dreams were signs from a sick body or messages from the gods. Freud saw dreams as encoded messages from our unconscious mind. However, all these interpretations share a common theme. They rely on the belief in some hidden, guiding force. Modern science suggests a simpler explanation. Dreams are a product of our brain's activity during sleep. When we dream, certain parts of our brain are more active, while others are less so. This can lead to the bizarre and vivid experiences we associate with dreaming. For example, the visual part of our brain can create intense images, while the part responsible for logical thinking is less active, making dreams seem illogical or strange. Even great minds like Leonardo da Vinci and Shakespeare pondered the nature of dreams, but without the scientific knowledge we have today, they couldn't fully understand them. Now we know that the brain's activity during sleep can explain many of the features of dreams. The science of dreaming. Dreams can be compared to certain kinds of madness, like delirium, where people experience visual hallucinations and confusion. This similarity gives us clues about how the brain creates dreams. During sleep, our brain can produce vivid images and experiences, even though our ability to think logically and remember accurately is impaired. Freud's theories about dreams, while groundbreaking for his time, were limited by the scientific knowledge available then. He believed dreams were a way to express unconscious desires, often related to repressed emotions. However, modern research shows that dreams can include elements from days or even weeks before, and they often don't follow a clear, logical pattern. Scientists today focus on understanding how the brain state during sleep affects our dreams. For instance, certain brain areas become more active or less active, leading to the vivid and sometimes nonsensical nature of dreams. This approach helps us understand dreams as a universal experience shaped by our brain's activity, rather than hidden messages to be decoded. While dreams have fascinated humans for centuries and have been seen as potential windows into the future, modern science views them as a reflection of our brain's complex activity during sleep. This understanding helps us appreciate the richness of our dream experiences without needing to rely on supernatural explanations. How does the brain activate during sleep? Have you ever wondered what happens in your brain when you fall asleep? It might seem like your brain simply switches off when you go to bed and turns back on when you wake up. But the reality is much more fascinating. Sleep and dreaming, not just a simple off switch. Some people might sleep deeply all night without any interruptions, while others experience periods of mental activity, sometimes feeling like their mind is racing even while they're asleep. This can be especially true during times of stress or life changes. But what about dreams? How can we have such vivid and complex experiences in our minds if our brain is supposedly inactive? The myth of instant dreaming. For a long time, scientists thought dreams only happened right before we woke up. This was partly because people usually only remember dreams when they wake up in the middle of them. Sigmund Freud and others believed this, leading to the misconception that dreams were just fleeting moments before waking. However, dreaming can happen at various points during sleep, not just before we wake up. Sometimes dreams can be so intense they wake us up, but that doesn't mean all dreams are disturbing or negative. External stimuli and dreams. Another theory was that dreams were triggered by external stimuli, like noises or physical sensations, that were strong enough to activate the brain, but not strong enough to wake us up. While it's true that external factors can influence dream content, like a train whistle or a late-night snack causing a dream about a journey or indigestion, dreaming doesn't rely on these stimuli. The discovery of brain activation in sleep. The real breakthrough came when scientists discovered that most dreaming happens during a specific phase of sleep known as REM, rapid eye movement sleep. REM sleep is a built-in mechanism of brain activation that occurs every night. Why did it take so long to understand? You might wonder why it took scientists so long to figure this out. Part of the reason is that for many years, they focused more on dream content, the stories and images we remember, rather than the actual process of dreaming. It also didn't help that the technology to study the brain's activity was not as advanced back then. However, some early researchers did try to study sleep, but they often interfered with the natural process by trying to induce dreams through external stimuli, like opening a perfume bottle near a sleeper's nose. While this sometimes worked, it missed the bigger picture of natural sleep patterns. Observing natural sleep. Observing sleep might not seem exciting, but it's actually quite revealing. If you've ever watched someone sleep, perhaps a baby, a pet, or a partner, you might have noticed their eyes moving under their eyelids, their facial muscles twitching, or their breathing patterns changing. These are signs of REM sleep, during which the brain is highly active. REM sleep and dreaming. REM sleep doesn't have a monopoly on dreams, but it's a key time for them. During REM, your brain is active, and your eyes move rapidly, which correlates with vivid dreaming. How you can observe. Even without special equipment, you can see signs of REM sleep in a bed partner, pet, or even a baby. The key indicators are the twitching eyelids and small movements. If you observe closely, you might catch these subtle signs of the brain being active. Conclusion. Understanding how the brain activates during sleep is a journey that has evolved over decades. From misconceptions to groundbreaking discoveries, we've learned that our brains are far from inactive while we sleep. Instead, they enter a highly active state during REM sleep, allowing us to dream and process emotions, experiences, and memories. So, the next time you drift off to sleep, remember that your brain is about to embark on a fascinating journey, full of activity and dreams, even if you don't always remember them when you wake up. Who discovered REM and the sleep cycle? Imagine being a scientist trying to study how kids pay attention, only to have them fall asleep during your experiments. This was the challenge faced by Eugene Aserinsky. He noticed that when kids got tired, their eyes tended to close, making it hard to keep their attention. To understand this better, Aserinsky placed electrodes near the children's eyes to record their eye movements while they were awake. However, what he discovered was completely unexpected. When the children finally fell asleep, their eyes started moving rapidly behind their closed eyelids. This was the groundbreaking discovery of rapid eye movement, REM sleep. A lucky break and a prepared mind. Aserinsky's first test subject was his 7-year-old son, Armand. It was through this experiment that Aserinsky accidentally stumbled upon REM sleep, a discovery that he initially made because children tend to enter REM sleep as soon as they fall asleep. Louis Pasteur once said, "Chance favors the prepared mind," and this was certainly true for Aserinsky. When he reported his findings to his mentor, Nathaniel Kleitman, they realized they had uncovered something significant. Together, they extended their research to adults, using not just eye movement recordings but also monitoring brainwaves, EEG, heart rate, and breathing patterns, understanding the sleep cycle. Through their research, Aserinsky and Kleitman discovered that sleep is not a simple on-off state. Instead, it involves a regular cycle of brain and body activity, with periods of REM sleep where the brain is highly active and the eyes move rapidly. This was a revolutionary finding that changed how we understand sleep and dreaming. Do we dream in black and white or in color? Modern lab evidence suggests strongly that we dream in color. To what, then, do we attribute the common misperception that dreaming occurs in black and white? The answer is very clear. It is the poor memory. Recall of dreaming is a function not only of brain activation in sleep, but also of awakening conditions, which determine whether dreams will be recalled at all, whether they will be recalled clearly, and whether they will be recalled at length. In all clear, lengthy reports, we see color descriptors in abundance. We dream in color. In our thousands of lab dream reports, there is not a single instance of a well-recalled dream being in black and white, as would be expected if this were indeed normally the case. Eugene Aserinsky's accidental discovery of REM sleep has had a profound impact on our understanding of the brain's activity during sleep. This discovery, combined with further research, revealed the complex and dynamic nature of sleep, debunking the myth that our brains simply switch off when we go to bed. Instead, our brains enter a fascinating cycle of activity that allows us to dream, often in vivid color. So, next time you dream, remember that your brain is hard at work, creating a colorful world for you to explore. In 1953, a year that also saw the revelation of DNA's double helix structure, scientists Eugene Aserinsky and Nathaniel Kleitman made a groundbreaking discovery about sleep. They identified a phase of sleep characterized by rapid eye movements under the eyelids, known as rapid eye movement, REM sleep. This period of sleep is particularly interesting because it's when our brains are highly active, and it's during REM that we experience the most vivid dreams. Initially, it was believed that the brain simply shut down during sleep. However, Aserinsky and Kleitman's findings revealed that the brain remains active throughout various stages of sleep. REM sleep is a crucial part of this cycle, with the brain engaging in activities that play a role in processing emotions, consolidating memories, and integrating information. This means that dreams are essentially a reflection of the brain's activity as it organizes and makes sense of our experiences. While the exact purpose of dreams remains somewhat mysterious, modern science suggests that they may help us manage emotions and solve problems. Even though not everyone remembers their dreams, the important brain functions that occur during sleep still take place, regardless of dream recall. Techniques like EEG, which measures brain waves, and other advanced tools, have allowed scientists to explore these processes in greater detail. Historically, Sigmund Freud's theories about dreams were influential. Freud proposed that dreams revealed our deepest desires and fears. However, as our understanding of the biological and physiological aspects of dreaming has advanced, contemporary dream science focuses more on the brain's activity during sleep rather than interpreting dream content through psychological theories. In essence, sleep and dream science has come a long way since the mid-20th century. We now know that dreaming is closely tied to brain activity and serves various functions, even if we don't always remember our dreams. Our dreams are a natural part of how our brains process and organize information, making sleep an essential aspect of our overall well-being. Do animals dream? All mammals have the same kind of brain activation during sleep as humans. Whether or not they dream is another question, which can be answered only by posing another one. Do animals have consciousness? The answer to that question has been hotly debated. Many scientists today feel that animals probably do have a limited form of consciousness, quite different from ours in that it lacks language and the capacity for propositional or symbolic thought. Animals certainly can't report dreams, even if they do have them. But which pet owner would doubt that his or her favorite animal friend has perception, memory, and emotion? These are three of the key aspects of consciousness, and they could be experienced whether or not an animal had verbal language as we do. When the animal's brain is activated during sleep, why not assume that the animal has some sort of perceptual, emotional, and memory experience? In terms of the important scientific use to which we could put animal sleep in the study of human dreaming, it makes little difference what the answer to the question about animal dreams might be. All we need know, in order to learn from our animal colleagues, is that they have the same kind of brain activation in their sleep as we do. We then go on to make the fairly safe assumption that animals have the same mechanisms of brain activation in sleep as we do. Why do we dream? The simple answer lies in the workings of our brain during sleep. As we sleep, our brain doesn't just shut down. It remains active in a way that's essential for various biological functions. This activity includes REM, rapid eye movement, sleep, a phase when our brains are highly engaged and often where our most vivid dreams occur. Dreaming itself might be a byproduct of this intense brain activity. In other words, dreams could just be what we experience as a result of our brain being active during REM sleep, rather than serving a specific purpose. REM sleep is crucial for all mammals and is controlled by a complex chemical system in the brain. It's not only important for sleep, but also varies with brain development and can be affected if REM sleep is disrupted. When it comes to babies, observing their REM sleep is particularly revealing. Newborns experience intense REM sleep with noticeable facial and bodily movements. They can show expressions like pleasure, fear, or surprise during this stage. Although we can't say for certain if babies dream or if these emotions in their REM sleep are the building blocks of dreams, the vivid movements suggest they might have a rich inner world. Interestingly, even before birth, fetuses exhibit organized movements that resemble those seen in REM sleep. By the time a baby is 30 weeks in the womb, these movements involve the eyes and face, hinting at an early form of dreaming or sensory experience. In essence, our dreams might be more than just random images or stories. They could be tied to fundamental aspects of how our brains process and experience movement and self-awareness. Every night, during REM sleep, our brains seem to renew or reboot our sense of self and our ability to move, which is an integral part of our consciousness. In summary, dreaming is likely a reflection of our brain's deep activity during REM sleep, which helps us maintain our sense of self and process our experiences. It's a fascinating glimpse into the complex ways our brains work even when we're asleep. Dreaming seems to begin much earlier than we might think. In fact, research shows that newborns, whether they are human babies, kittens, or puppies, have a lot more brain activity during sleep compared to adults. This suggests that the brain's foundation for dreaming is there from birth. However, whether these newborns actually dream in a way that we can understand is still a topic of debate. For babies, who are still developing their consciousness and sensory experiences, but lack the ability to think symbolically or use language, the nature of their potential dreams would be vastly different from those of adults. Dreams as we understand them require the brain's ability to use language and complex thought, which typically begins to develop around age 3. At this point, children start to have dreams that resemble those of adults and continue to evolve in complexity until about age 7. This pattern indicates that simply having brain activation during sleep isn't enough to produce dreaming. Instead, the development of brain circuits responsible for language and complex thinking is crucial. Additionally, the fact that newborns have more brain activation during sleep than adults, yet their dreams seem less complex, points to REM sleep playing a vital role in early development beyond just dreaming. While the groundwork for dreaming is present from birth, it is the development of language and complex thought that allows for the rich and intricate dreams we experience as adults. Have you ever wondered how much sleep you really need and what happens when you don't get enough? The truth is, there isn't a single answer that fits everyone. Just like some people are naturally morning people while others prefer the night, our sleep needs can vary widely. Sleep is not a one-size-fits-all affair. Some people can function well on just 4 to 6 hours of sleep, while others need 8 to 10 hours to feel fully refreshed. This variation is completely normal and is influenced by a range of factors, including our internal body clocks, lifestyle choices, and even environmental conditions. For instance, during stressful periods or when recovering from illness, our bodies might require more rest. Interestingly, our bodies are quite adaptable. When faced with high-stakes situations or intense motivation, we often find that we can push through periods of sleep deprivation and still perform at a high level. This is a testament to how resilient and flexible our bodies can be. Historically, there were some dramatic claims about sleep deprivation. Early researchers believed that lacking REM sleep, the stage of sleep most closely associated with dreaming, could lead to severe mental health issues. Some extreme experiments, like keeping people awake for extended periods, resulted in hallucinations and paranoia, supporting these fears. However, modern research shows a more nuanced picture. While sleep deprivation can impair cognitive functions and make daily tasks more challenging, it doesn't necessarily lead to the dramatic consequences once feared. Sleep is vital not just for our mental sharpness, but for our overall health. It affects everything from our mood to our ability to think clearly. Ultimately, sleep is much more than a simple rest period. It's essential for maintaining both physical and mental well-being. Understanding and respecting our individual sleep needs is crucial for a balanced and healthy life. Is sleep essential to life? Let's dive into why sleep is so crucial for our survival and well-being. Imagine you're a mammal in the wild. To stay alive, you need to eat, avoid becoming prey, and keep your body at the right temperature. Too hot or too cold, and your brain doesn't work properly. Just like in tropical areas where people take naps during the heat of the day, or in cold climates where you might fumble and stumble if you're freezing. In our modern lives, though we don't face predators as directly, we still need to manage threats like infections and maintain a stable body temperature. Our bodies are designed to handle these challenges, and sleep plays a big role in helping us do so. Research has shown that when we don't get enough sleep, it can seriously impact our health. For instance, studies with rats have demonstrated that extreme sleep deprivation can lead to severe problems. These rats began to lose weight, couldn't regulate their body temperature, and eventually, their immune systems weakened so much that they couldn't fight off infections. The takeaway is that sleep isn't just a break from our daily routines. It's essential for keeping our bodies functioning well. While the extreme conditions seen in experiments might not happen in everyday life, they highlight how critical sleep is. When we don't sleep enough, even minor issues can turn into significant health problems. Why is this so? During sleep, our bodies and brains go through essential maintenance. Sleep helps regulate our core systems, and although we can't regulate our body temperature during REM sleep, the stage where we dream, our bodies are in a safe environment like a cozy bed or nest where we're protected from temperature extremes. During sleep, different brain systems take over. For example, the systems that manage wakefulness and energy use are turned off, which helps save energy and keeps us safe. This allows our brains to refresh and reorganize, preparing us to face the next day. Sleep is a vital part of life, enabling us to stay healthy and function well. It's not just a period of rest, but a crucial time for our bodies to recover and maintain their essential functions. So, while it might seem like just downtime, it's actually a key player in our overall health and survival. What is the function of dreaming? Dreams have always intrigued us, sparking countless theories about their purpose. One bold idea, suggested by philosopher Owen Flanagan, is that dreaming might be just a byproduct of brain activity, without a real function of its own. This idea might sound extreme, but it's based on the observation that dreams don't always seem to affect our waking lives in a meaningful way. After all, many people who don't remember their dreams still live perfectly normal lives. But even if dreaming itself doesn't have a specific purpose, the brain activity that creates dreams could be very important. Think of it like this. When we dream, our brains are busy processing information, much like when we're awake. This activity helps us sort through memories, discard outdated ones, and integrate new experiences. This theory suggests that dreaming is part of a broader system that helps maintain and improve our mental functions. Moreover, dreaming might play a key role in brain development. Newborns, for example, spend a lot more time in REM sleep, the stage where dreaming most often occurs, than adults. This suggests that REM sleep might help with the development and fine-tuning of the brain. Even after we've grown up and learned to speak, our brains continue to develop and adapt throughout our lives. So, what does this mean for our cognitive abilities? During sleep, our brains rest and restore their capacity for various functions. This includes our ability to regulate body temperature and improve our mental alertness. Essentially, while we sleep, our brains are working hard to prepare us for the next day, making sure we're alert, attentive, and ready to tackle challenges. Dreams are often emotional and seem random because our brains are processing information in a highly active state. This activity helps us deal with our emotions and understand our reactions, which are crucial for survival. Our dreams might not provide clear, useful memories, but they help us manage our emotional responses and instincts, such as knowing when to approach someone, when to be cautious, or when to act. While the exact purpose of dreaming might still be a mystery, it's clear that the brain's activity during sleep is vital. It helps keep our mental functions in top shape, prepares us for the challenges of the day, and supports our overall well-being. Let's dive into a fascinating aspect of sleep. What happens when our dreams go awry? Just like everything else in our body, dreaming can sometimes go off track, leading to experiences like nightmares and night terrors. These disruptions are a hot topic in sleep science because they reveal how our brain's dreaming systems can get tangled up in ways that affect our sleep quality and well-being.
Nightmares vs. Night terrors.
To start, let's understand the difference between nightmares and night terrors. Both are unsettling, but they come from different places in our brain and affect us in distinct ways. Nightmares are vivid, frightening dreams that can leave us feeling anxious or scared when we wake up. These happen most often during REM sleep, the stage of sleep where we typically dream. The brain's emotional centers are very active during these dreams, which is why we might wake up feeling terrified or upset. Nightmares are often a result of stress or anxiety and are usually linked to the parts of the brain that deal with emotions. On the other hand, night terrors are a bit different. They often happen during non-REM sleep, a deeper stage of sleep where we're less likely to remember our dreams. Night terrors are intense emotional episodes where a person might wake up feeling extremely scared, sweating, and with a rapid heartbeat. They can be so intense that the person might not even remember what they were dreaming about, if they were dreaming at all. This kind of reaction is tied to a different set of brain functions that control our body's automatic responses, like heart rate and breathing. Why do these happen? The underlying cause of both nightmares and night terrors is brain activation. When we dream, our brain is highly active, especially in areas linked to emotions. This activation can sometimes lead to negative or frightening dreams. For night terrors, the emotional and physical reactions can be so extreme that they disrupt our sleep and can be distressing. Both nightmares and night terrors are part of the wide range of human dreaming experiences. While they can be quite unsettling, they also offer us insights into how our brain processes emotions and stress. Understanding these sleep disturbances can help us manage them better and maintain our overall well-being. Sleepwalking and related sleep disorders. Let's explore some of the intriguing behaviors that can occur during sleep, such as sleepwalking, sleep talking, and tooth grinding. These are known as parasomnias, unusual actions that happen during sleep. What's happening during sleepwalking? Sleepwalking is a fascinating phenomenon where people get up and walk around while they're still asleep. This can be quite puzzling because during sleep, our brain usually prevents us from moving around. The brain does this by sending signals to stop our muscles from moving. This is especially true during REM sleep, where most of our vivid dreaming occurs. However, during non-REM sleep, our brain's control over movement isn't as strict. In this stage, the brain can activate parts that control movement while other parts are still deeply asleep. This results in automatic movements like sleepwalking. Essentially, the brain's movement systems are partly activated while the higher brain areas that keep us fully awake are still inactive. This combination can lead to behaviors like sleepwalking or even talking in your sleep. Sleep talking and tooth grinding. Similar to sleepwalking, sleep talking and tooth grinding can occur during non-REM sleep. Sleep talking often involves mumbling or talking clearly about things that aren't connected to the dream content, while tooth grinding usually involves clenching or grinding teeth, which can sometimes be caused by stress or an irregular sleep cycle. These actions are part of the brain's movement systems getting triggered inappropriately during sleep. Understanding night terrors. Night terrors are another type of parasomnia. Unlike nightmares, which are dreams filled with fear or anxiety, night terrors usually occur during non-REM sleep and involve intense fear or panic. People experiencing night terrors often wake up feeling terrified and may have a racing heart, increased breathing, and sweating. They might not remember the details of the dream and often feel confused upon waking. Trauma and dreams. Trauma can also influence our sleep and dreams. People who have experienced traumatic events sometimes have vivid, disturbing dreams or night terrors. The impact of trauma on dreams can vary. In some cases, the trauma strongly influences the content of dreams, while in others, it doesn't seem to affect dreams much at all. Sleepwalking, sleep talking, tooth grinding, and night terrors are all linked to how our brain functions during sleep. While sleep usually involves a state of immobility, certain brain areas can become active in ways that lead to these unusual behaviors. Understanding these conditions helps us appreciate the complexity of sleep and how our brain manages movement and emotions while we're resting. Let's talk about REM sleep behavior disorder, RBD, a condition where people act out their dreams. This is different from sleepwalking and can be quite surprising. Here's a breakdown of what happens and why. What is REM sleep behavior disorder? During REM sleep, our brains are very active, and this is when we dream the most. Normally, our brains send signals to keep our bodies still, so we don't act out our dreams. Think of it as a safety switch that stops us from moving while we dream. But in RBD, this safety switch doesn't work properly. People with RBD might kick, punch, or even jump out of bed while they're dreaming. Their actions in real life match what's happening in their dreams. For example, someone might punch their pillow because they're dreaming about a fight. Why does this happen? In a normal sleep cycle, there's a balance between the brain's activity that causes movement and the signals that stop us from moving. In RBD, this balance gets messed up. Either the signals to stop movement don't work well, or the brain becomes too excited, leading to physical actions while dreaming. Many people with RBD are middle-aged men who might later develop Parkinson's disease, which affects movement control. It's thought that a brain chemical called dopamine, which helps control movement, might be involved in RBD. When dopamine doesn't work right, it can lead to RBD symptoms. Why it matters? RBD shows us how our brains control our movements while we sleep and what can go wrong. By studying RBD, we learn more about how different brain chemicals interact and how they affect sleep and dreams. It helps us understand why some people move around while dreaming and what might be causing it. REM sleep behavior disorder is a condition where people act out their dreams because their brain's normal control system isn't working right. It's a way to see how our brain controls our movements and dreams, and why sometimes this control can go awry. The new neuropsychology of dreaming. In the world of sleep research, the study of dreams faced a tough period from the 1970s to the 1990s. Researchers were trying to connect specific dream content to precise brain activities. But this approach was too simplistic and didn't yield useful results. This led to frustration and decreased funding for sleep labs focused on dreams. Meanwhile, animal studies were advancing our understanding of the brain, but the findings couldn't easily be applied to human psychology. This caused a divide between psychologists and physiologists. Some psychologists, like David Fowlkes, criticized the physiological focus on dreams, feeling it didn't address the complexities of human dream. Brain imaging changes the game. The 1990s, dubbed the Decade of the Brain by the U.S. Congress, saw a breakthrough with brain imaging technology. This allowed scientists to visualize which parts of the brain are active during different states, like waking, sleeping, and dreaming. This new technology revolutionized dream science by providing concrete data on brain activity during REM sleep, the phase most associated with vivid dreams. Brain imaging, especially techniques like positron emission tomography, PET, showed that certain brain regions are more active during REM sleep. For example, the areas involved in sensory perception and emotions are highly active, while the area responsible for logical thinking and self-awareness is less active. This helps explain why dreams can be so vivid and emotional, yet often lack coherent thought. How brain imaging works. Brain imaging techniques like CT, MRI, and PET create detailed pictures of the brain by measuring differences in tissue density and activity. When neurons in a specific brain region become more active, they need more oxygen, leading to increased blood flow to that area. PET and functional MRI, fMRI, can detect these changes in blood flow, allowing scientists to see which parts of the brain are active during REM sleep. PET is particularly useful because it provides high spatial resolution, meaning it can show detailed images of brain activity. While it doesn't get down to the cellular level like some other techniques, it provides valuable insights that would be hard to obtain otherwise. Key findings from brain imaging. Using PET and fMRI, researchers have identified several brain regions that are more active during REM sleep compared to waking. These include areas involved in processing emotions, sensory experiences, and motivation. Conversely, areas involved in logical thinking and memory are less active during REM sleep. This aligns with the nature of dreams, which are often more emotional and less logical than waking thoughts. The impact of brain damage on dreaming. Strokes and other brain injuries can affect dreaming. Damage to specific brain regions, such as the parietal cortex or deep frontal white matter, can lead to a complete loss of dreaming. These areas are essential for the communication between different brain regions that sustain dream consciousness. This suggests that dreaming relies on a network of brain regions working together rather than a single dream center. Brain imaging has transformed our understanding of dreaming by showing how different brain regions contribute to the vivid, emotional, and often illogical nature of dreams. While we still have much to learn, these findings bring us closer to understanding the complex relationship between brain activity and dream content. Do blind people see in their dreams? Let's explore the fascinating question. Do blind people see in their dreams? The answer varies based on whether the person was born blind or lost their sight later in life. For people who are blind from birth, their dreams do not include visual images. This is because their brains never develop the ability to create visual pictures, as they never experience sight. When these individuals dream, their brains use other senses, like touch, hearing, and the sense of their body's position in space. These non-visual senses are often more vivid and pronounced in their dreams. On the other hand, people who became blind after having had vision can still see in their dreams. Their brains retain the ability to create visual images because they experienced sight before. In fact, dreaming might be when these individuals see most vividly, often recalling detailed images from their past. For them, dreams can be a way to revisit and relive visual experiences they no longer have when awake. For instance, one blind person shared how he enjoyed dreaming because it allowed him to see his family again. He could remember and picture his father's detailed gold braid on his hat, something he couldn't see while awake but could clearly visualize in his dreams. This ability suggests that people with acquired blindness might benefit from techniques to enhance their dream recall and even influence the content of their dreams, allowing them to maintain a perceptual connection with their loved ones. Dreaming, learning, and memory. Let's dive into the fascinating connection between dreaming, learning, and memory. Scientists have been exploring the idea that dreaming plays a crucial role in reorganizing our memories for at least 30 years. Recently, compelling evidence has emerged, thanks in large part to the work of researchers like Robert Stickgold. The core idea is that REM, rapid eye movement, sleep helps consolidate our memories. This makes sense because during REM sleep, our brains are highly active, and our dreams often consist of fragments of our waking experiences. Interestingly, new research shows that non-REM, NREM, sleep is also vital for memory consolidation. As we learn more about how our brains work, it becomes clear that different stages of sleep contribute to different types of learning and memory processes. For example, REM sleep appears to be crucial for certain types of learning that involve integrating and reorganizing memories. When we sleep, our brains don't just shut down. Instead, they go through complex processes that help us learn and remember. Studies on animals, such as rats, have shown that their REM sleep increases after they learn something new. If their REM sleep is disrupted, their ability to learn is impaired. This suggests a REM sleep window, during which our brains consolidate new information. In humans, it turns out that incorporating new information into our dreams can take several days. This means that the process of learning and memory reorganization is more long-term and doesn't happen overnight. Another interesting aspect of dreaming is the recurrence of certain themes. People often have recurring dreams, not necessarily because of repetitive content, but due to consistent emotional themes. For instance, anxiety is a common emotion in dreams. Many people have dreams about exams, which can be quite different in detail but share the common feeling of being unprepared. This reflects our real-life anxieties about performance and evaluation. In terms of memory, there are different types. Procedural memory, for example, involves learning tasks that we perform without conscious awareness, like riding a bike or playing an instrument. Experiments have shown that sleep, especially a combination of deep NREM sleep early in the night and REM sleep later, is crucial for improving these skills. People who get good sleep perform better on tasks they practiced the day before, even if they don't consciously remember how they improved. Dreaming is not just a random activity our brains engage in while we sleep. It plays a vital role in learning and memory. Our brains use different stages of sleep to process and consolidate new information, helping us improve skills and remember experiences. So, the next time you wake up from a vivid dream, remember that your brain has been hard at work, helping you learn and grow. Are dreams caused by indigestion? You might have heard the old saying that dreams are caused by indigestion, but that's not actually the case. This idea came about in the 19th century when scientists were trying to understand why our brains are active during sleep. They thought external factors, like what we eat, might be responsible. It's true that if you have a stomach ache or eat too much before bed, the discomfort can wake you up. When this happens, you might remember your dreams more clearly, and those dreams could include thoughts related to your upset stomach. This could make it seem like the indigestion caused the dreams. However, the reality is that what happens during the day, including what you eat, has very little to do with the actual creation of dreams. Sigmund Freud once suggested that dreams are triggered by recent memories, but modern research shows that recent events play a minimal role. Instead, our dreams are constructed from fragments of various memories, both recent and long past. When we sleep, our brains activate and start piecing together these memory fragments into new scenarios. This process is largely independent of what we've experienced recently, including our dietary choices. So while indigestion might influence the content of a dream if it wakes you up, it's not the cause of dreaming itself. Learning, memory, and dreams. Let's explore how learning and memory are connected to our dreams. Imagine you're learning to play a new video game. As you practice, you might start to see images from the game as you fall asleep. This shows that your brain is holding on to those memories and replaying them as you drift off. This phenomenon isn't limited to humans. Studies on rats learning to navigate mazes have shown that their brains replay the maze patterns during sleep. This replay helps to reinforce their learning. The part of the brain responsible for this, the hippocampus, becomes active, almost like it's replaying a mental video of the maze. So, when we sleep, our brains sometimes reflect on what we've learned during the day. This helps to solidify those memories, making it easier to recall them later. It's like our brain is organizing and storing information while we rest. The brain's nightly work. Our brains are incredibly efficient. They don't store every detail of our daily experiences. Instead, they focus on the most important bits. During sleep, particularly in REM, rapid eye movement, sleep, our brains sort through our memories and keep the essential parts, weaving them into our long-term memory. This process involves both procedural memory, how to do things, like riding a bike, and declarative memory, facts and information, like remembering a phone number. While procedural memory works mostly unconsciously, declarative memory involves conscious recall. How dreams reflect our lives. Dreams are a fascinating mix of memory fragments and emotional themes. They often pull together different elements from our lives in bizarre and unexpected ways. For example, you might dream about a helicopter you saw earlier in the day, but in your dream, it could transform into a tractor and involve people you know in strange scenarios. This shows how dreams blend various pieces of information and emotions from our waking life. Our brains don't just replay our experiences like a video. They rework them into new, sometimes surreal, stories. Dreams are not caused by indigestion. Instead, they are complex creations of our brain, integrating fragments of our memories and emotions. This process helps us consolidate learning and store important information. So next time you have a vivid dream, remember that it's your brain's way of processing and organizing your experiences, not just a result of what you ate before bed. Dreaming has long fascinated us, and understanding it has evolved significantly over the years. Freud, for example, emphasized the role of the unconscious mind in dreams, suggesting it was a repository for socially and psychologically unacceptable desires. Today, modern sleep science presents a different perspective. It views the unconscious mind not as a threatening entity, but as an ally and guide, essential for survival and reproduction. Consciousness can be simply defined as our awareness of the world around us, our bodies, and ourselves. This includes the ability to recognize that we are conscious. Consciousness is a brain function that integrates various aspects, such as sensation, perception, emotion, thought, and action, into a unified experience. There are two main models for understanding consciousness. First is sequential processing. This model suggests that neural information processing moves from the outside in and from the bottom up. Information is integrated at a higher level before being processed down and out again. And the second one is modular approach. This approach breaks down consciousness into different components, each managed by specific areas of the brain. For instance, sensation is processed by peripheral sense organs. Perception involves cortical and subcortical elaboration. Emotion is handled by the limbic system. Thought occurs in the frontal cortex. The binding problem. One of the central challenges in understanding consciousness is the binding problem. How does the brain knit together various elements of sensory information into a seamless, unified experience? Scientists believe this is achieved through synchronized activation of brain regions and chemical modulation. Synchronicity. Different brain regions communicate and synchronize their activity to create a unified conscious experience. This happens in milliseconds to seconds. Neuromodulation, influenced by brain chemicals, plays a role in altering consciousness. This occurs over minutes to hours and is significant in states like dreaming or under the influence of certain drugs. Dreams are an altered state of consciousness, similar to those induced by psychedelics or certain mental illnesses. When we dream, neuromodulation changes dramatically, suggesting that chemical processes in the brain play a crucial role in shaping our dream experiences. Despite our advances, the hard problem of consciousness remains. How do neural processes translate into subjective experiences, qualia? Philosopher David Chalmers has pointed out that neuroscience has yet to fully explain this mystery. Understanding consciousness involves not just the physical processes in the brain, but also how these processes create our subjective experience of the world. Consciousness arises from a combination of innate and acquired processes. Innate processes. These are genetically programmed and involve self-organization at birth, providing us with a basic framework for interacting with the world. Acquired processes. These are shaped by our experiences and involve the integration of these experiences into our neural circuits. Consider how we see. The eye captures light, which is then processed into patterns of neural activity in the brain. This creates abstract but meaningful representations of the world, which we perceive as images. The same principle applies to awareness and self-awareness. The brain's ability to represent these representations allows us to be fully conscious. Modern sleep science has revolutionized our understanding of dream consciousness. It highlights the brain's intricate processes that unify our experiences and shape our awareness. Whether through dreaming or waking states, these processes ensure that our consciousness is seamless and adaptive. The self in dreams. In the realm of dreams, one element remains steadfast, the sense of self. No matter how bizarre or fantastical the dream, there is always a consistent presence of I. This I swims, flies, fights, and interacts with dream characters. Even when we see ourselves as actors in the dream rather than the central figure, the self is still there, guiding our actions and experiences. This sense of self acts as an anchor, maintaining a core identity amidst the fluid and often chaotic nature of dreams. The persistence of the self in dreams suggests that our sense of identity is deeply embedded in the brain structure. Neuroscientist Rodolfo Linus suggests that the self is rooted in the brain's ability to generate movement patterns, even if those movements are entirely virtual in the dream world. This means that even in dreams, where we may not be physically moving, the brain creates a convincing illusion of movement and action, reinforcing our sense of self. Moreover, the self in dreams highlights the brain's remarkable ability to integrate various aspects of consciousness. While dreaming, the brain weaves together sensory perceptions, emotions, thoughts, and actions into a coherent narrative, all centered around the self. This intricate integration underscores the complexity and sophistication of our conscious mind, creating dream reality. Dreams are a testament to the brain's power to create a convincing alternate reality. During REM sleep, the brain is highly active, generating vivid sensory experiences and intricate narratives without any external input. This self-generated reality can be incredibly lifelike, often indistinguishable from waking life until we wake up. The creation of dream reality involves the brain's ability to self-activate various sensory and motor regions. Even though we are not actually moving or sensing the external world, the brain simulates these experiences with remarkable accuracy. For example, in dreams, we can see, hear, touch, and even taste, all created by the brain's internal mechanisms. One fascinating aspect of dream reality is its fluidity. In dreams, time, place, and identities can shift rapidly and unexpectedly. We might find ourselves in completely different locations or interacting with people who change identities seamlessly. This fluidity is a hallmark of the dream state, highlighting the brain's flexibility in constructing alternate realities. Despite the often chaotic and illogical nature of dreams, the brain manages to maintain a coherent sense of experience. This coherence is achieved through the brain's ability to integrate various elements of consciousness, even in the absence of external inputs and the usual regulatory functions of the prefrontal cortex, which is less active during REM sleep. Lucid dreaming. Lucid dreaming is a fascinating phenomenon where the dreamer becomes aware that they are dreaming while still in the dream. This awareness can bring a unique sense of clarity and control over the dream narrative, allowing the dreamer to influence the dream's content and actions. In a lucid dream, the dreamer can consciously decide to take certain actions, explore different scenarios, or even change the dream's environment. This control can lead to exhilarating experiences, such as flying, meeting fictional characters, or revisiting cherished memories. The realization that one is dreaming often comes with a heightened sense of exhilaration and freedom, as the usual constraints of reality are lifted. Lucid dreaming also provides a unique opportunity to explore the workings of the mind. Since the dreamer is aware and in control, they can experiment with different aspects of the dream, observing how thoughts, emotions, and actions unfold in this altered state of consciousness. This self-awareness within the dream allows for a deeper understanding of how the brain constructs reality and the nature of consciousness itself. Achieving lucid dreaming can be enhanced through various techniques. One common method is reality testing, where the dreamer frequently checks whether they are dreaming or awake throughout the day. Another technique involves maintaining a dream journal, which helps increase dream recall and recognize dream patterns. Meditation and mindfulness practices can also enhance self-awareness, making it more likely to achieve lucidity in dreams. Lucid dreaming not only offers a thrilling and empowering experience, but also serves as a powerful tool for personal growth and self-exploration. It provides a unique window into the subconscious mind, allowing the dreamer to confront fears, explore desires, and enhance creativity in a safe and controlled environment. The interpretation of dreams. As we delve into the interpretation of dreams, let's consider the contrasting perspectives of Freud and modern neuroscience. Imagine Freud as a figure we've challenged, dusted off, and placed on a new pedestal. His theories have been both right and wrong in intriguing ways. My colleague, Bob Stickgold, captures this paradox by saying, Freud was 50% right and 100% wrong. Let's unpack this statement and explore what speculative philosophy and experimental brain science reveal about our dreams. What Freud got right. Freud's insights into the emotional nature of dreams were spot on. He highlighted that dreams are driven by primitive emotions and instincts. During sleep, these deep-seated drives, like those related to sex, aggression, and escape, surface in our dreams. Freud called this the primary process, a raw and instinctual form of thinking that contrasts with the more rational and civilized secondary process of our waking consciousness. Freud correctly noted that dreams often involve powerful emotions such as joy, fear, and anger. These emotions drive the content of our dreams, linking them loosely to our thoughts and experiences. This emphasis on emotions is a valuable legacy of psychoanalysis, reminding us that our feelings and instincts play a crucial role in shaping our dreams. However, Freud's idea that dreams are primarily about wish fulfillment is only partially accurate. While some dreams may indeed reflect our desires, many are dominated by negative emotions such as anxiety and fear, which Freud didn't fully account for. What Freud got wrong. Freud's most significant error lies in his theory of disguise and censorship in dreams. He believed that our unconscious wishes are disguised in dreams to evade the censorship of our conscious mind, resulting in the bizarre and nonsensical nature of dreams. According to Freud, the remembered content of dreams was just a facade hiding deeper, unconscious desires. Modern neuroscience, however, suggests that dreams do not need this disguise. Instead, dreams reveal our emotions and instincts directly, without the need for censorship. The bizarre nature of dreams can be explained by the brain's free associative processes during REM sleep, not by a need to disguise forbidden desires. Without the need for disguise and censorship, the interpretation of dreams becomes simpler. The dream is what it appears to be, a direct reflection of our emotions and instincts. To understand our dreams, we should focus on the associations and emotions they evoke, rather than searching for hidden meanings. Dreams and emotional salience. Freud's emphasis on the emotional salience of dreams remains relevant. Dreams highlight the importance of our emotions and instincts, reminding us of the powerful drives that influence our behavior. By paying attention to our dreams, we can gain insights into the emotional and instinctual aspects of our minds. Freud's method of using dreams to trace associative thoughts back to their emotional roots holds potential, although it remains unproven. Whether analyzing dreams, waking fantasies, or even neutral stimuli, emotional salience plays a key role in our thought processes. Freud's contributions to dream theory were both insightful and flawed. His recognition of the emotional and instinctual nature of dreams was groundbreaking, but his theory of disguise and censorship has been debunked by modern neuroscience. Today, we understand dreams as direct reflections of our emotions and instincts, without the need for hidden meanings. By recording and carefully analyzing our dreams, we can learn more about the emotional and instinctual forces that shape our minds, offering a clearer and more honest view of ourselves. Science demands prediction, understanding dreams. In his insightful book Gödel, Escher, Bach, Douglas Hofstadter touches on a critical challenge in the science of dreams, the issue of prediction. Dream content interpretation has long been a fascinating topic, but it's often limited by our inability to predict dreams before they occur. To truly understand dreams, we need to move beyond just looking back at them and analyzing their content after the fact. This backward-looking approach can be convincing but doesn't necessarily reveal the underlying rules governing dream formation. The problem with retrospective analysis. Retrospective analysis involves looking at a dream and trying to connect it to recent events or personal concerns. For example, if someone dreams about a person they recently saw, it might seem like a direct connection. This kind of interpretation can make sense in hindsight, but it doesn't prove that we can predict such dreams in advance. The real challenge is whether we could foresee a dream before it happens. If there were strict rules governing every dream, we should be able to predict them accurately. However, the reality is that predicting dreams is not feasible. If we assign reasons for a dream only after it's happened, we're engaging in what's known as the post hoc fallacy, assuming a cause and effect that may not truly exist. Caveats in dream analysis. There are two significant caveats to consider. Not every experience triggers a dream. Many emotionally significant experiences do not always appear in dreams. For example, despite the stress of academic challenges, dreams might not feature these issues directly. The lack of dream content related to certain stressors suggests that not all significant experiences translate into dream material. Perception of causality. Humans have a tendency to perceive causality even when it doesn't exist. An experiment known as dream splicing illustrates this. Researchers took segments from different dreams and combined them to create hybrid dreams. Participants, including trained psychoanalysts, often couldn't distinguish between original and spliced dreams. This suggests that our minds are very good at seeing patterns and causality, even where none exist. The scientific approach to dreams. The scientific method helps address these issues by focusing on prediction and control. Good scientific experiments reveal true causation and uncover false assumptions. When it comes to dreaming, science tells us that dreams are a product of brain activation during sleep. This activation leads to hallucinations, emotional intensity, and cognitive errors, rather than being a result of hidden psychological defenses or repressed desires. Dreams are not about concealing unconscious wishes, but are instead a manifestation of the brain's state during sleep. By understanding the neurophysiological processes involved, we can better grasp what drives dream content. Beyond dream content, a broader perspective. Dream interpretation isn't just about analyzing dream content. It's about recognizing the broader patterns of how we understand and react to our experiences. For instance, questions like, why do I feel anxious about a phone call? Or why do I react strongly to certain situations? Can benefit from a similar approach to understanding dream content. As brain research progresses, we will gain deeper insights into why we dream and how these dreams relate to our waking lives. This broader perspective will help us better understand dreams as reflections of brain activation and emotional states rather than mere products of hidden psychological forces. For centuries, dreams have captivated human imagination, leading to various mystical and speculative theories about their nature. However, contemporary research has significantly advanced our understanding of dreams, revealing that the mystery surrounding them is not as profound as once thought. Instead of relying on mystical interpretations, modern science offers a clearer and more grounded perspective. The shift from mystique to science. The scientific study of dreams, or dream science, is grounded in neurobiology, the study of the brain and its functions. Recent advancements in brain imaging technologies, particularly magnetic resonance imaging, MRI, have revolutionized our ability to observe the brain's activity during sleep. This technological progress allows us to directly see how different regions of the brain are active when we wake, sleep, and dream. This marks a significant shift in our understanding of the brain and consciousness. Dreaming and brain activation. One of the key insights from recent research is that dreaming is closely linked to changes in brain activation. The brain does not rest completely during sleep. Instead, it remains highly active. This ongoing activity peaks during periods of dreaming, though even when brain activation is at its lowest, it is still more active than one might intuitively expect. This constant activity plays a crucial role in processing information, consolidating memories, and learning new skills. The brain's gates. Another important finding is related to how the brain manages sensory and motor information during sleep. The brain effectively closes its gates to external sensory input and motor output while dreaming. This means that while we dream, our brains are less influenced by the outside world and are also less able to execute physical actions based on the dream content. As a result, we experience dream movements consciously, but these movements do not translate into actual physical actions. Chemical changes in the brain. Perhaps the most striking revelation is the change in the brain's chemical environment during sleep. Two key neurotransmitters, noradrenaline and serotonin, which are essential for maintaining waking consciousness and cognitive functions like problem solving and memory, are significantly reduced during dreaming. This shift in brain chemistry contributes to the distinct nature of dreaming consciousness compared to waking consciousness. Implications for understanding consciousness. These findings have profound implications for our understanding of consciousness. They challenge older theories that relied on mysticism and speculation and provide a more scientific basis for interpreting dreams. With this knowledge, we move closer to understanding consciousness itself as a product of brain function, rather than a mysterious or unknowable phenomenon. In summary, while the study of dreams is still evolving, the integration of brain science into dream research offers a clearer and more accurate picture of what happens during sleep. By continuing to explore these scientific insights, we can enhance our understanding of dreams and consciousness, transforming them from mysterious phenomena into subjects of rigorous scientific inquiry.